In this episode, does muscle confusion work?
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome everyone to episode 258 of the Daily Mother Swole, where I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me for the most massive fucking podcast in the realm. You can listen to every single episode of the Daily Swole on SoundCloud and iTunes. You can watch me on YouTube, and of course, obviously, if you're watching me live here every day at 12 noon Eastern Time on the Facebook. And of course, you can catch me casually on Instagram stories, and Snapchat if you want to see more behind the scenes of what's going on in Gainesville. So let's start today's episode all about muscle confusion. Does muscle confusion work? Is it bullshit? And let's just tear it apart. Let's tear muscle confusion apart. And let's tear it apart in the sense that muscle confusion really isn't a term. It's a trademark term, and it got popularized by P90X. And some of you that know me are familiar with my work. I have done work with Beachbody for a long time and with P90X, and I am a fan of the program. I'm a big supporter. Anyone that's promoting health and fitness the proper right way, doing hard work, is a friend of mine. And one of the great things about these real workout programs that they're real work. If you have a program that requires you to put in real work, it's going to work. It's consistency. It's consistent hard work, and that's why people have gotten great results. But they coined the term muscle confusion, and what that really means is exercise variety. It's one of the acute variables. What an acute variable is something you can change in the short term. You can change your exercise choices, how many reps, what exercise order you do. You can change your rest periods, how many times a week you work out. You can change the reps. You can change the volume, the weight. You can change everything in your workout at the moment. And that's going to lead to a long-term adaptation. So this muscle confusion or this variation, what does it actually mean? Does it really work? Well, yes and no. And it's one of the big disparities in fitness because a lot of people put all their chips on the muscle confusion and the randomness aspect and mixing it up and shocking the muscles, and as if the muscles are gonna be like, oh my God, we're doing a lat curl, lat pull down, and the muscles don't know, they just respond. I said lat curl. What the fuck is a lat curl? God damn it, Dash, I need more coffee. Hold on a second, let me refuel. In my belly. Now we're good to go. Your body doesn't know what it's doing. It's responding. So when you're doing a lot of variation, what are you doing? You're causing what's known as an alarm reaction. You do something new, your body gets shocked. It goes, oh, you get an inflammatory response. And then if you do this type of activity and you give this kind of stimuli over and over again over a longer period of time, weeks, months, your body starts to adapt to make it less painful. Your body will adapt to make it not hurt as much. Remember yesterday we talked about how your body wants to go the easy road, doesn't want to walk up an incline when it can walk flat, doesn't want to do hard work when it could do easy work. Your body does not want to change. Your body wants homeostasis and wants to chill. Nothing wrong with that. You want to chill in real life. Your body doesn't want to do work either. It's just something your body doesn't want to put in extra work, and that's normal. Now, that being said, your body will try to adapt to make the workload easier, to make it less painful, to make it less arduous in the future. So that being said, your body needs to get used to something. If you are changing things in your workout too much and too often, what you're doing is you're giving your body new stimuli all the time that it's going to have to react to. Now, one of the problems with this is when you're trying to react to a stimuli, it's a risk. It's a higher risk because it's an overload. It's a new shock to the body in one respect, in intensity, in the movement, the actual movement itself, the mechanical force, whether it's coming from the top or from the bottom, whatever angle you're pulling or pushing from, or how fast you're running, how long you're running, it's a new stimulus. If you do this repeatedly, your body can adapt and get better at it and become safer in doing the movement. It can get stronger, it can get more endurance, your body can adapt to it and change. If you're changing things all the time, your body is always reacting, it's always getting shit thrown at it, and it can't adapt to any one response in any one direction because it's getting so much random stuff. That being the case, there's a more risk for injury because if you're twisting one day and then running long distance the next day and then lifting heavy the next day, you're just overloading with all these random stimuli that the body cannot adapt to any single one of them, and the risk for getting injured, tendinitis, a major injury, maybe something worse, or just extra soreness that you can't recover efficiently from, that risk increases. So if you're changing all the time, and that means before you can actually adapt, then you're changing too much. And what happens is people change too many things when they want to change. They'll change, instead of lifting weights, they'll do running in a long distance circuit. They'll do, something like a Spartan run to mix it up. They'll do, swimming, getting out of the pool, doing push-ups and getting back and swimming. And the next day they'll do heavy Olympic lifting. And then the next day they'll do high reps. The next day they'll do sprints. They do so much random shit, and it's too much of a drastic change. Do you know what really kind of change your body needs? Instead of doing, let's say, chest and triceps, you start doing chest and back for a couple weeks. Instead of doing 3 exercises, you do 4. Instead of doing a bench press, you do dumbbells instead. You don't need that drastic of a stimulus change. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to do one of these obstacle course races where the most random shit's going to happen, then you have to kind of take that risk that you might get hurt and train random shit. But if you're trying to get a physique, if you're trying to build muscle, bodybuild, and look a certain way, and most people are working out to look a certain way. The issue is most people train to get hurt and not to look a certain way. So they're actually training the wrong way for the result that they think they're going to achieve. And people get hurt, they're like, oh man, and the injury sets them back more. You're not going to get a physique by doing random shit. You have to do periodized, scheduled, planned shit a certain way so your body can adapt, so you can build that physique. You have to build that sculpture, and you have to be repetitious. And one of the things that people want to do to make it more exciting, because it's boring. A lot of times it's boring. I enjoy working out because I know the results it's going to get, so I enjoy it. But it's not exciting. It's not going to be a movie one day, and then it's going to be safari the next day, and bungee jumping the next day. It's not going to be that random and that amazing. And people are looking for entertainment in their fitness. And honestly, and I've said this before, honestly, if you're looking for entertainment, you're not going to get results. I am sorry, not sorry. If you're looking for fun, not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen anywhere near what you think it will. Because like anything else that you want that's worthwhile, it's going to be hard fucking work. And hard work isn't always fun. You're going to have to do exercise you don't like to do. Tough shit. You're going to have to lift weights in a certain way in a repetitious form. Tough shit. You're going to have to do this 4, 5, 6 days a week. Tough shit. You're going to have to do it. Do you want to look a certain way? Then you have to do certain things. And in order to build muscle, you have to do coats of paint and coats of paint and over and over and over and over for weeks, for months, and for fucking years. You have to do this over and over again with subtle changes, small alterations, over and over and over again. That's how you adapt, and that's how you build muscle. And it takes time, it takes repetition in literally and figuratively, and it just takes hard work, and it's that mental aspect. It's that mental aspect that a lot of times is more challenging than the physical because you have to mentally grasp that concept and swallow it. And you have to mentally swallow it in order to do it. You have to just deal with it and accept it, that this is what it needs to happen. This is what needs to happen, and I'm going to do it because that's what it takes. You want it? Good, do that. You don't want it? Then don't do it. And go bike riding, and then go running, and, I love to swim, so I go swimming. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you love to do it and that's what you want to do with your life, that's fine. I am in no place to tell you otherwise. But when you come to me and you say, I'm having trouble building muscle, but I like to, ride my bike 20 miles 3 days a week. And what about running? I do cardio on these days. Well, if you're telling me you want X, Y, and Z, but that you're doing, people tell me these things, And in the comments, I see this. You tell me that you want to build muscle, and then you tell me how you do cardio on these days as if you want me to tell you how to build muscle with the program that you already have. You have to change. You have to change what you're doing. It's not like, well, how am I going to do that if I do cardio on, these 3 days of the week, and I do bike riding, and I do MMA on these days? Well, what do you want? What do you want? Don't tell me you want to build muscle, but you do this on this days. I'm like, okay, that's great. You're not doing that anymore if you want to build muscle. You have to sacrifice certain things. If you want a specialty, like a physique, you have to train for that specialty. If you want functionality more than anything else, then you have to train for functionality. You might not get all the physique benefits. It's like anything else. A specialty as a doctor. If you want to be, if you want to be really, really good with feet, then you have to specialize in feet. That's why it's called a specialist. You have to do feet only. That's why you don't go see the foot doctor for, brain surgery, because they've been focusing on that one area, but they're really good at that one area. Like anything else. And fitness can have its specialties too. If you want to be a marathon runner, then you have to train a certain way. You can't be lifting heavy weights all the time because you're going to get hurt, and it's nothing to do with what you want out of being a marathon runner. It's just training for your result. Now, something like some of these programs, they'll change after 3 to 6 weeks. And think about what the standard, where we talk about how long it takes for a habit to be created, like 21 days minimum. Well, think about that. 3 weeks, 4 weeks of lifting a certain way, and your body can start making noticeable adaptations. And you can keep on going for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, as long as you see adaptations, as long as you're not doing too much and overtraining, and then you back off and maybe deload and go light for a couple weeks, then go back to building muscle, go back to your intense training. So you can stick into this adaptation mode for a while until it stops working, you start plateauing, or you start feeling like you're doing too much, you need to back off, and then you can increase the intensity again. But you have to give your body time to adapt. And you don't need to change things that drastically to see results. And I know because I've done it. I've done and been consistent for years and years and years. And you don't have to change things night and day to get results. Sometimes you got to shock the body and change your training style, but more permanently. But still, if you shock your body, you don't shock it in one workout and then all of a sudden, ooh, I just felt like mixing it up. Let me do cardio this day. It's going to change everything. No, it's one day your body's going to hit a speed bump, be like, boom, what the fuck was that? And go back to its normal pattern. You got to mix it up for at least a week or two and then go back. And then the stimulus might be somewhat fresh again because you changed it and adapted to a different thing for a couple of weeks. And then you came back. So you have to go through these waves. It's called periodization, and it's called fucking common sense when you start looking at the exercise science. And I'm telling you, and I'm saving you a lot of problems and a lot of issues from just thinking that you're never doing anything different, from thinking that you're not going to see change. It's a great thing to adapt. It's a great thing to be like, oh, I've been doing this for a couple weeks. That's great. If you're doing it right, you're going to get the results from it. Now, if you've been doing something for a few to several weeks and it's not working, then you can scratch that off the list. That might not work for you. And the thing about fitness is a lot of it's trial and error. You have to find what works. But more often than not, if you do random shit all the time, you'll get some progress, you get some results at the beginning, and then you're gonna plateau or you're gonna get hurt. And you have to understand what you're trying to do and if that matches what your goal is. You have to match it. You have to match it. Don't be doing heavy lifting if you're trying to run long distances. And don't do sprints if you're trying to, be a long distance cyclist. You have to train for what you want. If you want to look a certain way, you got to train to look a certain way. You want to be strong, you have to train to be strong. You want to have endurance, you have to train for endurance. I know it makes sense when I say it like that, but you'd be absolutely flabbergasted. And yeah, I fucking said that stupid ass word flabbergasted at how many people just do shit because it's fun or their friends are doing it or it's popular. They just do shit to do shit and it has nothing to do with what they really want. And they're just wasting their fucking time. And more often than not, that's why people don't change for years and years, because they just do shit and they think magically because they're in a place that's called a gym and they're on a machine that someone created in some factory in Taiwan, that they're going to have a body of their dreams because, they see other hamsters doing the same thing. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to know what you want, and then you have to do what it takes to get there, and it's that simple. So understand, if you're doing it for aesthetics, and you have to train for aesthetics, and it might not be exciting, it might not be, ooh, this is amazing. But if it works, it works. Fucking do it. And if you don't, then don't. As with anything else, you got to do it. So things like CrossFit, things like these random group classes, you got to understand why you're doing it. If you're doing it for entertainment, understand you're doing it for entertainment. And that's what you're going to get from it. You might get some change, but you're not going to get all the change. You could get hurt. A lot of these things don't have anything to do. A lot of these classes and a lot of these group programs and a lot of these styles of training like CrossFit, and here's the kicker, it's hard to make shit different all the time. Why do you think these workout programs get crazier and crazier and more fucking ludicrous as the years go on? Why does it get stupider and stupider and stupider? It does, because when you first open this and it first gets popular, it's like, wow, this is pretty stupid. And then it's like, well, we've been doing these stupid things for a while. We got to make it a different kind of stupid because people get used to that stupid. And they're not going to come back and pay us fucking 150 or 200 bucks a month to do this stupid stuff. We got to make new stupid stuff. So they do more ludicrous shit like carrying fucking sandbags for 10 miles and, doing squats, fucking flipping stupid ass tires. That's really functional. That's really functional. Lifting and flipping things. When the fuck do you do that? When do you do that shit? I know it might be tiring and I know it might look cool. And when do you do that? When do you walk outside your front door? It's like, shit, I wish I can get to my car so I can go to work, but there's 30 fucking tires in the way. Let me flip them all out of the way and make some room. It doesn't happen. You could do deadlifts and get that functional response. You could do cleans, that's fine. Lifting stuff onto your shoulders, that's functional. You need strength, you need versatility, you need yoga, you need rotational stability, you need integrity, you need core strength, you need total body workouts, you need some light cardio, you need, it's so obvious to me. And I know it's because I've been in the field and as a fitness expert and having all the experience I have, it just hits me in the face all the time and it baffles me that a lot of people don't see this. And it's sad and people get hurt. It's just people trying to mix things up to things that they haven't done yet to keep people excited. Wow, this is new. And it's just literally the most psychotic amalgamation of garbage that is just different. That's all it is. They make things different and it doesn't have to be. If you want adaptation, it shouldn't be. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 258 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, where I flex, you flex, we all flex our motherfucking biceps. Thank you for joining me on SoundCloud and iTunes, listening in, getting biceps in your ear canal, and watching on YouTube, and of course, every day at 12 noon Eastern Time on Facebook at Swolenormous. You can also check me out on Instagram and Snapchat for behind the scenes. Make sure you like me. You don't like me? Make sure you like me. Make me feel good. Don't make me sad. Drink some coffee, have some bacon, lift some fucking weights, enjoy your life, and also take a look at your program. What do you want? Why do you want what you want? Find your why. Think about what your goal is, and then break down and analyze your training program and see if it really is for you. And those of you that want some more assistance and more fucking gains, join up my Swolenormous premium group, my private membership group. You can click the sign up button at the top of my Facebook page or go to swolenormous.com to get access to that group today. Live broadcasts, program design, squat assessments, corrective exercise. Just a great community, a great family in there. So I hope to see you in premium. And those of you that are joining me for the first time today, welcome to the Gain Train. Peace out. I will see everyone for 259 tomorrow. Later.